close on the heels of the Auto Expo, Mercedes-Benz has now brought out another SUV. That's 4 SUVs in 4 months. That's a very good pace to keep in a market like India where people are crazy about SUVs. So what you have behind me right now is the new GLC Coupé. And let me take you closer to the car and show you what it's all about. So now this GLC Coupé joins the regular GLC class, which was updated very recently. And that is why you will also see this new look compared to the GLC 43 Coupé that we had seen previously in India. This design obviously filters down from the updated GLC class. So now the diamond grille with a single slat Mercedes-Benz logo, which we had previously seen only on the AMG, is now standard on the GLC class, and that includes the Coupe. Whereas the 43 AMG will get a new vertically slatted grille. Even the headlamps. Now this is something that we've seen on the GLC class, the new streamlined design for the headlamps. These are multi-beam LED headlamps in there, and I think this suits the Coupe form factor more than the full-fat crossover that we've already seen. It's much sleeker and it goes with the sleek lines of this Coupe. Even the bumpers slightly redesigned, the skid plates slightly redesigned. It's a very sporty looking face. That's something that we'd also said when we reviewed the GLC class, the full crossover. But with the Coupe, it looks even better. I am going to show you the Coupe roofline. I'm going to move to the side, but let's also take a look at these alloy wheels here. That's a new design. These are 19-inch rims, and this is the first time you're seeing it with such fat rubber. And that's because, like I said, this is not the AMG variant. Let me try and show you the Coupe form. There you go. So that's the side profile. I think it looks stunning. And it is this styling that drew a lot of people away from the regular G-Class onto the AMG variant, and Mercedes-Benz will now capitalize on that. People who are purely looking at this design, this form factor, this kind of styling will have the option to settle for a more tempting price tag, which the AMG didn't come at. On the inside, the cabin is familiar, very similar to what we've seen in the GLC class, but if you look at the instrumentation, it's all digital. A 12.3 or a 12.5 inch screen is what I'm told, 10.25 inches for the infotainment. It's touchscreen, of course. It gets the MBUX operating system, and it also responds to "Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?"
Well, always nice to hear that sound. Anyway, so we will review all of this once we review the car, but this is what the cabin looks like at the front. The materials look quite nice. They're typically Mercedes-Benz, so very nice fit and finish. The colors are also more comfort and luxury biased than the sportier trims that we've seen in the AMG trims. Anyway, getting out, that is what the space looks like at the back. Unfortunately, you do not get a panoramic roof. It's only at the front because, of course, the front side of the cabin is the more important one for this car. But the rear seating space, not too bad. I was just sitting there to shoot this, and the headroom is actually quite good. We'll show it to you in detail once we review the car. And finally, we also take a look at the boot space. 500 liters of it, expandable to 1040 liters. But more interestingly, all of it is usable. There will be no spare wheel. Spare wheel goes here. It's not strapped on to the floor like it was previously. So all of this is usable. Entire 500 liters of it, or like I said, expandable to 1040. And power tailgate. Moving to the tail, again, you will see things filtering down from the new updated GLC down to the tail as well. The shape of the tail lamps is still reminiscent of what we've seen previously, but the detailing is now in line with what we've seen with all new SUVs from Mercedes. That's the 4MATIC badge. 4MATIC is standard on this car, but more importantly is this, the GLC 300D, and there's also a 300 Petrol. So these are the new badges for the GLC Coupe, and that's because, again, like I said, this is not the AMG. Now the GLC Coupe is available in the more sober trims, the more sober variants, the 300 Petrol and the 300 Diesel. So what are the engines? Well, in the 300 Petrol, you get a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, good for about 258 PS of power, 370 Newton meters of torque, goes from 0 to 100 in 6.3 seconds. And this one, the 300D that we are seeing here, gets a 2-liter turbo diesel, puts out 245 PS, 500 Newton meters of twist, and goes from 0 to 100 in about 6.6 seconds. So certainly exciting figures there, even if this is not the AMG, and should be very exciting to drive as well. In fact, Mercedes-Benz insists that it's not just a fast-looking car, it is also very exciting to drive. Now that is something that I would want to see once I take this car out on the road. The GLC class that we reviewed recently, we had said that the suspension setup did feel slightly firmer than the outgoing car, and that also awarded it very nice handling dynamics, and I'm expecting it to be even better with the GLC Coupé. Of course, the suspension geometry remains the same on this car, but the setup is different, and that should give it some fun handling characteristics is what I believe. That's something that we'll verify with a review. But the bigger news is this car is now locally produced, which means Mercedes-Benz is importing them as completely knocked down kits, not as completely built units. They're assembling it locally at their plant in Chakan near Pune, and that gives it a very tempting price tag. The petrol starts at 62.7 lakh rupees, and the diesel that you see here is 63.7 lakh rupees ex-showroom pan India. I think that's a very good price tag. More importantly, where is the AMG? Well, it is coming soon.